Uh, Dearest listeners,
Book babes and book bros.
welcome to Book Babble. I'm Rachel,
And I'm Tanya, and we're the Witlet Women, your hosts for the day.
and today we have a special guest star. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, yes, I'm Alex. I am the author of a couple of series that I have out now, Souls for the Abyss and Realms of Divinity, and I have a few novellas coming out as well. Hi, everybody.
Well, Alex, we're so excited to have you on today, and we can't wait to hear more about all of your books. Are you ready to babble?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, I'll put 5 minutes on the clock.
All right, awesome. So you have so many things happening. My first question is always like, what inspired you to write your stories? And you have several.
Yes, I actually started my writing journey with poetry. My first poem I actually wrote as a assignment for third grade, and I realized that it was actually super fun. So one Christmas, my parents got me this really big journal. It was really cute with flowers on it in pink, and it was just a bunch of lines. And I basically filled the entire thing up with poems over the years. And then eventually I dabbled in short stories, and I always wanted to write books. But in high school and middle school, I just always found myself starting a million of them and never finishing any of them. I just kind of got so excited that I couldn't stick to anything. So it wasn't until I was an adult in 2024 that I actually finally published a real novel. Before that, I had three poetry books. So it was a long time coming. I just took my time.
That's amazing. So, what gave you, what made you switch from poetry to short stories? Is it just like you had all of these ideas, or was there some kind of catalyst for that?
Yeah, so most of my poetry was more so kind of how I was coping with things. So a lot of my poetries were more like diary entries. It was kind of how I journaled. At 15, I suffered through a lot of mental illness. I was, really depressed and going through a rough time, and it kind of spiraled when my family found out, and I got sent to a psych ward at 15, and so I was kind of in this position where I felt like I couldn't talk to my parents because every time I tried to talk to them, they just didn't really get it. So
Mhm.
that was the only outlet that I really had at the time. That was before smartphones, and I couldn't just like be in my room on my iPhone or something. Like I didn't get my first smartphone until a senior in high school. So honestly, writing was like the only thing I could do because I could do it anywhere.
Yeah, I love that you had that outlet. That's amazing.
And I'm a therapist, and so I know that writing is so cathartic. I love to hear that it has helped you heal, and that's so incredible to be able to witness that journey on paper.
It's really interesting because my first three poetry books are actually they all have dates on them. And the reason is because I had a private blog online where I started digitalizing them because when I was younger, I just wrote them all down. And then now that I had my own laptop during college, I just kind of made a post every time I wrote a poem. And then eventually I realized that I was kind of creating a weird, almost a memoir of my like journey through mental health and like love and my first marriage. And I was like, oh, this is kind of like a memoir. I'm gonna publish it as a collection of poems in three different books, and they all have dates. So it's kind of like diary entries. It's really it's definitely an interesting format. I had never really planned to do that. It was kind of impulsive, to be honest.
But it's so cool that you have that to look back on now. Like you have that entire journey from start to now. I won't say finish because you're going to continue growing and on being on that journey, but like that's amazing.
It's definitely been interesting because I remember just going through some of my poems from 2019 and thinking, oh, I'm never going to get through this. And then it's 2025 now, and I never thought I would be where I am now. So it's a really nice reminder of, yes, it feels like the end of the world in the moment, but I mean, shit, I survived all of that. So I'm like, must
Ah,
be better than I thought.
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so I guess we have time for maybe one more question. We went really far into that. Um, What is your process for writing? How do you get it from your head to your paper?
Honestly, it's very chaotic, and it started getting to the point where I had so many ideas that I had to start organizing them. So I have a giant G doc of all my book ideas, and they each have a tab so I can have, if I think of a cool character name or brainstorm, I throw it in there because I have ideas for probably about 15 books right now, and I just can't.
Oh.
I can't like I'll forget it if I don't write it down. So it's kind of like I call it my little dumpster dock where I just dump my ideas into it and then revisit it later.
I love that. Uh, s- so, my noise changed.
What was it before?
It was like some cheer. It almost sounded like, I don't know, something from the Hunger Games when they're making those announcements.
Oh
And
gosh.
then it just whatever that is happened. So we have officially made it through the 5 minute AMA round. So we have about 10 minutes left just to chit chat, but we'll post this on the 5 minutes on our social channels like Instagram and TikTok, and the full episode's gonna go on YouTube and Spotify. So um we didn't get to ask like tons of questions, but we started down a really cool path of talking about your history. So you had mentioned your first poem you wrote in elementary school in like third grade
hmm
for an assignment. I remember in third grade, I also did that, and it was like for this random children's poetry like collection. Did you all do the same types of things at your in your school?
Yeah, we sub if it was like a school contest, I think it was for like school, whoever won the contest, their school got funding or something. So they like really
Yeah.
encouraged us to do it. And I don't remember if it was required or extra credit, but I just remember thinking, because she's like, it can be about anything you want. She's like, if you don't know what to write, like look around the room. And so I was looking around the room and I was focusing on colors because I was like, writing about school's boring. Like I don't want to do that. I'm in school all the time. Like I don't and so I saw something green and I'm like, okay, I can write about the color green. And so my poem was what the color green meant.
Oh, that sounds cute.
Yeah. So I'm just like, and my teacher was like, damn, that was ambiguous as fuck for a third grader. What she was kind of baffled, like in a weird way. And I that was the first moment that I was like, oh, is this something? Am I doing something? And then that's kind of how that started.
Well, okay, so when you get that kind of praise as a third grader, like you know you have talent. So
Well, my mom always,
incredible.
it's funny because as a toddler, my mom said that I would always make up my own songs and I would sing all the time. And so she said that she always thought when I grew up I was going to be a songwriter. She said she was close though because I became an author, but she said she's like, I almost predicted your future. I thought you were going to be a famous songwriter and write hits hit songs for celebrities. And I'm like, I'm not a good singer though, and I don't know how to play an instrument. So it's like
Yeah.
poetry is similar to songs, but in my opinion, it's way easier because you don't have to know how to play an instrument.
Yeah, and you don't have to like keep time. Keeping time is so hard if you ever try to play music. Oh my gosh.
And then the recording equipment is so expensive. With a poem, you can just sit down and write it wherever on a paper, on your phone. Like it's,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So,
absolutely. It sounds like you chose the right profession in my opinion.
I mean, it was fun. I started writing fan fictions in middle school and like I still have them and they're very cringy, but I mean, I was writing very early on. It just didn't really get good until I was an adult.
What fandoms did you write fan fiction for?
So this is really niche, but I wrote for Kingdom Hearts. So my favorite couple is Roxas and
Oh.
Naminé, and so pretty much 90% of my fanfics are just Roxas and Naminé. So yeah, I don't I that I loved Kingdom Hearts 2 as a kid, so like I just like shipped them so hard and it turned into a thing.
That's incredible. I love that. I don't think I've ever met anyone who has written Kingdom Hearts.
I
It's usually
know.
like the
Whenever
Harry
I t
Potter and stuff.
yeah, or it's like One Direction. Like I'm never because
Yeah.
whenever I mention it, everyone's like, they have a fandom for fanfic for Kingdom Hearts, and I'm like, damn, was I really that niche when I was like, I never realized how like peculiar my choice was until I started talking to other people, and they're like, yeah, we did fan fiction, but it was One Direction, and I was like, oh, band? What?
That's the One Direction stuff I've never really been able to get into. The stuff that I read was like Harry Potter, Twilight, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like all those fun fantasy ones.
Yeah, I did like video game and anime ones, so.
That's awesome. I feel like those are very difficult to do. So like you have to be talented to figure things out with those fandoms.
Yeah, I know it was interesting because when I started writing stories, because I had started writing poems, storytelling was really hard for me. So it was always really easy for me to think of a plot and then write the dialogue, but literally any descriptions or imagery of places, I just was terrible with. So if you look at my fan fiction from middle school and then compare it to my writing now, it's literally quote, quote, quote. Like it's so different. So you can see a huge gap of like where I didn't know how to use any imagery whatsoever.
What did you do to teach yourself how to do that, to use imagery?
So the only way that I can do it is I have to have visual references because I'm a visual learner. So usually what I do to set the vibe is I have a certain song playing depending on the mood. And then I either look up certain pictures or clips from references that I find useful. So I know there's a lot of really pretty scenes in some video games from the people that do Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. I love like the different planets and worlds that they do, and they have a lot of vivid colors. So I look at a lot of either video clips or just art of things that are very vivid that are very stimulating to give me ideas. And then when I put myself in that mood set of a certain song, I like build the vibe. I don't know if that makes sense, but I have to like create an environment of the vibe that I'm planning to write, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So if I'm doing something sad, I have to have the sad. If I'm doing something actiony, I have to have something upbeat. It's like otherwise I can't be in the moment unless I feel slightly connected to whatever I'm writing
No, that makes
temporarily.
perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. The vibes will change everything that you're doing when you're writing. Like, if you have the wrong song on, if you have the wrong lighting, it can change everything. So it totally makes sense. Well, I have taken up most of the time. Rachel, I'll give you the floor.
Well, usually about now we check in with you and see if there's anything you want to let your readers know or say to the listeners. And it's really it's your floor now.
Well, I guess the only thing that I have to say is that I'm really excited for my novella that's coming out on Halloween. The reason I made it come out on Halloween is because it's a ghost MMC. So the male lead is a
Cool.
ghost who haunts the apartment of the female lead. So it's kind of a forced proximity paranormal romance. It's got a little bit of comedy, got a little bit of wholesome emotion, and a happy ending. And I just thought, wow, Halloween, ghosts, it's a vibe.
Uh,
So I'm really excited. Edits are going right now, so it's almost done.
Yay! I'm so excited for that. I woke up today thinking about spooky season and I was like, I can't wait. And now I'm even more excited.
Me
Yay!
too. And
Yes, it's perfect.
I had my first pumpkin spice it's a freezer from Eliano's, which is like an Italian coffee shop, but the fall is officially on the menu for the coffee. I'm so happy.
Yeah, we only have like what, 2 more Mondays until September.
I'm so happy for it. You guys have no idea. I'm in Georgia, so it gets really fucking humid here, and it's like I hate summers here. Like it's bad. Mosquitoes, humidity. Like once it hits fall, I'm a happy camper.
Oh, I can't wait. And your book is gonna make it so much
I
better.
know, I'm so excited.
Yay. Well, we'll have to have you on again so we can chit chat some more. I feel like we have so much more to talk about. But we are just about at time, so we will reach out and schedule some more time with you.
Awesome. Well, it was great meeting you guys. Thank you so much for letting me on. I appreciate it.
We had
Yeah.
so much fun, Alex. Thank you.
Me too. Bye bye, guys.
Bye.